Welcome to a very special Punters Guide, a Grand National special. What a race, the world's greatest race. Names that just roll off the tongue. Red Rum famously, of course, Tiger Roll, and some famous silks, the Johnson colours with Comply or Die. The JP McManus silks, of course, Don't Push It, giving AP McCoy his Grand National success. Plus Manila Times and I Am Maximus a couple of years ago. And what about the Hemmings colours, famously carried to victory by Hedgehunter, Ballard Briggs and Many Clouds. Who will add their name to the list this year? Well, could they be from this yard? Oliver Greenall and Josh Guerriero at Stockton Hall Farm. They've got a Rocco who was fourth in the race last year, maybe a year too soon, but a little bit softer ground this year could see him go 3 places better. But now they have another candidate in Jaguar, a fantastic second in the Ultima at the Cheltenham Festival. Could he be the one to light up this small yard on the Cheshire, Shropshire and Welsh border? Let's hear from their trainer, Josh Guerriero.
Well, thanks for joining us, Josh. Before we get into this year's Grand National, what does Aintree mean to you? I mean, I don't think you've won over the Grand National fences. Christy Beamish, remember that?
Yeah, just about. Struggled to remember it, to be honest. It means a lot. Obviously, it's quite a local course to us as well, and a lot of our owners are from round here, around Aintree, so they obviously follow it all, and yeah, it's just obviously a special place, and to have any winner there is special. As far as when I rode there, I honestly, it was all a blur. I was 18 and I can barely remember it, and I wish I could remember more, and I wish I'd taken it in more, and I wish I'd celebrated more, but it's still a special place to us. And obviously Ollie, his dad was chairman there for so many years, so he's got a special connection to it. Yeah, just generally an amazing place to have winners, but for us it's a little bit more than that as well.
You had Ollie behind you that day, back in fifth.
Yeah. We've actually got a photo of us upsides. We didn't know each other at the time. It's before we became friends, and there's a photo of us upsides jumping Beecher's Brook that we've had printed off. But yeah, he was in fourth, so good day.
And you mentioned that relationship that obviously Ollie's got with Aintree, with his dad. I mean, does that put a little bit of added pressure on him?
I'm not sure, maybe a little bit, yeah. He does always say it does a little bit, because he just feels a lot more people maybe follow his name there, or a lot of people that he knows that are still working there when he used to go, and he used to run the prize from one room to the winners connections bit and stuff at the meetings. So he knows all the ladies there and at work, and yeah, a little bit I think, because there's more eyes on him. Yeah,
and also I know you've won over the national fences. His brother won over the national fences. He never got to do it. We did win at Cheltenham as well. But as I say, I know it's different now, that the race or the fences. But how big were they in your day when you rode over them?
They look big on the photo we've got, but they genuinely were a fair bit bigger. The photo, even when we're jumping Beecher's Brook, it's a fair drop still, which is now you watch it, and there doesn't seem to be any drop at Beecher's and little things like that. You can tell there's a fair difference, yeah. Which obviously it is for the good, and we need the race to survive and everything. And I'd much rather a horse gets around safe and sound than makes it too much of a test of jumping.
And now you say that test of jumping, it has become more of a proper race. Class will out, really, in the last few years since the modifications.
Yeah, exactly. Look, for us it's great because we've got 2 horses that probably want that sort of race. It's made it a much stronger, much classier race. I think for the likes of Jaguar, if it was back like it was, he wouldn't be running in it, because his jumping can be a bit messy, and I think he could probably get away with it the way they are now. But if it was like it was 10, 20 years ago, then he probably just wouldn't even run in it.
And you know, Rocco, he does act there. He's done it last year, so that's going to give you confidence.
Definitely, yeah. And we know, I mean, don't tempt fate, but he is very solid. He jumps, he stays. Last year he looked a bit lost. He was a bit green, and he looked like he lacked experience, and he was out the back, and he stayed on like a dream. So, we go there with a bit more confidence with him.
You've always said they're 2 very different horses. There's a great chance that the characteristic of Aintree could suit them both.
Definitely, yeah, 100%. I think Jaguar, and I've said it before, I think seems mad that I don't think Cheltenham suits him because he's won there so much. But I generally don't think it suits him because he's so big. He's got such a big stride. He struggles with the bends, he struggles with the undulations, and it puts his jumping under pressure. So I'm hoping Aintree, you've got time between your fences, big long straights. I think he'll really enjoy it.
Do you want to see to these? Or?
No, they're all right. They're just hacking. Yeah.
Okay. So go back to last year, Iroko finishing 4th. How do you see that straight away? I mean, was it an opportunity missed? Do you think with another year in his back, he's got a real chance?
Yeah, I didn't see it as an opportunity missed, in the sense that I don't think a lot could have gone differently. The only thing, if the ground was soft, I think he'd have kept up with him a lot easier. He's just not very quick, and he just struggles when they're going that stride quick on good ground to lay up. So, but you can't do anything about the ground, and he ran a big race. He stayed on really well. He looked slightly inexperienced, as I say, so I know Cheltenham wasn't ideal, but he didn't have much of a race because he never got involved in the race. If he hadn't gone to Cheltenham, I think you go into Aintree short price favourite, or the favourite. Got beat 7 lengths by all the same horses that are going to try and beat him again this year. And there's reasons why we've improved that much. So yeah, hopefully he goes there with a big chance.
And you must, I say, going back 12 months, you must have been, if you weren't frustrated, you must have been delighted really, because 7-year-olds don't really win nationals.
Well, exactly. Yeah, we were delighted. Just to see him finish the race like he did. He was the fastest finish. Well, he was the strongest closer. He's the only one to come from the back of the pack. And like you say, the record shows 7-year-olds don't win it. And Jonjo got off as soon as he walked back in. He said, "Oh, it felt a year too soon." So a year later, we're going back, and hopefully it's the right year.
And it's been the plan for the entire year. You've obviously aimed at the race, and then the big fella comes along. And all of a sudden you've got 2 bites of the cherry.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible really. We're so lucky to have the pair of them. The 2 top class, well, classy horses, not quite top class, but they're on their way there hopefully, and they're 2 horses that, like you say, you need that type of horse to go to Aintree nowadays. Jaguar, he could go there and love it and go round on the bridle to 3 out, and from then on I don't know what will happen, but if he does take to it, he could really take to it.
It's clear of Masaccio, who is back in third. Another 100 yards to go. Jaguar has now taken the lead and begins to assert, and racing up towards the line. The Trusted Trader plate goes to Jaguar.
He's one of 3 horses in the race who are well in and ahead of the handicapper, and they have a good record.
Yeah, exactly, with £5 well in, which always helps. He hasn't carried 10-10 for a long time, or 10-11, whatever he's got. He's been lumping around top weight at Cheltenham the last few times, so I think he'll love that. And like I say, if he takes to it and he enjoys it and gets in a rhythm, he could be dangerous. And
you were into the modifications. This is one horse that they will kind of benefit. Like you said, you wouldn't even entertain the idea 10 years ago.
Well, exactly, yeah. And 10 years, like you say, we wouldn't have even thought about it 10 years ago, because he can be messy and his jumping can let him down. And it's not to say that he's dangerous and he's just a bit messy. He's just like a big gangly teenager. He leaves his legs in the odd fence and just makes it hard work for himself. And you can get away with that nowadays, whereas, like you say, a while ago you couldn't. I think the modern day national, you need to be able to travel. You don't want a big slow stayer, and he's not one of those. He'll travel. He's got a lot of toe and class, and yeah, he could just love it, hopefully.
Looking at the market and the prices, there's around just over a 15% chance that you win the Grand National, you and Ollie, between the 2 horses. How does that feel? As in, you know, for a yard like yours to have 2 massive chances at the world's biggest race?
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit surreal, really. It's hard to really think about it in that sense, just looking at it as a race, and we need to get them there and get them sound. But yeah, it's exciting. I mean, we're just so lucky to have them, and they've been amazing horses for us. They've both won at the festival for us. They're good horses, and we just need to make sure we get them both there sound and well. It's exciting, but yeah, try not to think about it too much because it's too exciting. Okay, well, what would it mean then, obviously, for a yard of your size here, but also personally, for both of you, so you've won over the fences, for both Oliver, who's got such the history or the relationship with Aintree, and being local as well, just what would it mean? I mean everything. It's not really, it's hard to put into words what it means, because it's huge, it's humongous. For a yard like us, if we ever went and won a Grand National, it's massive. Not just locally with all our owners, I mean, just everybody that watches it. Last year you got texts from people that you never usually get a text off saying good luck or well done. So yeah, it'd boost our business hugely and our profile. But on a personal level, I think for me and all, it'd be absolutely incredible, yeah.
And last year you took the staff with you, the coaches booked?
Yeah, we're doing that again, yeah. So yeah, hopefully we can give them all something to celebrate about.
Let's hear from Betfred ambassador Jonjo O'Neill Jr. Here he is celebrating onboard Jaguar Cheltenham Festival success, but he's going to keep his association with Irocco, who of course he was on board when 4th last year. He said it was a year too soon. So, 12 months on, can he go 3 places better?
Let's just for talking about the English National then, which is obviously coming up on us. Rocco, you're going to be your mount. Obviously, was well for Antipost favourite. A little bit disappointed at Cheltenham, but something came to light for that. How excited are you for riding him on the back of what he did last year?
Yeah, I couldn't wait to get back on him for this year's national after riding him last year. He hadn't that much experience in big race handicaps, and the ground was lively enough for him. He just struggled with the early pace of the race. But I think he's a stronger horse this year. He's more experienced. He is a little bit more up in the weights, but I think he's improved through the season. We're gonna have to put a line through Cheltenham. It wasn't him at all. He didn't jump or travel, and but I know he's much better than that. So if he comes back to his former Ascot or anything like that, I think he'll run a very big race.
Yeah, and Josh said once you got off, he said it's a year too soon. Not many 7-year-olds win nationals. Now another year when he's back. The form, as you say, second to a King George winner, then beat a couple of Irish horses that have done well since at Ascot. So his form has improved to a new level here. He's an excellent horse, and although he's gone up in the weights, it could be a nice racing weight for the national.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. He beat James de Burley, who won the Webster Cup the time after, and Firefox ran very well in the Irish Gold Cup. Said the jukebox man, he was just behind at Haydock. He was second behind. I know the way you're thinking, Aintree in a Grade 1 novice chase a couple of years ago. He's got graded form in the book, and yeah, everything's been gearing towards this time round. And I think if you took out the Cheltenham run, it's very hard to pick holes in him. See something came alight, and they've had time to resurrect that. So I'm still very much looking forward to him.
And obviously, you cast your mind back to last year. I mean, he was absolutely flying home. Those front three have been up there throughout. He was the only really one that made a lot of progress from the rear.
Yeah, exactly. And we weren't sure. We were fairly hopeful that he would stay, but obviously we hadn't gone that distance. Whereas this year we know he does stay, and as long as he can keep up in the early pace of the race, he's certainly going to stay at the end.
Another horse that you know very well, of course, is at your yards, is Johnny who is well in after his ultimate success.
Yeah, he's well in. I think Lompress is out now, so he's got one to come out. Hopefully he gets a run. He was given a great ride by Richie McLernan at Cheltenham. He travelled and jumped, and cheap pieces and the wind operation certainly gave him a bit of a hand just to travel, which you need to in the national. But yeah, he's had a go over the fences as well, and he took to them nicely. He's bred to be running in a national, so hopefully he can be banged there as well.
And last year was obviously the first time you were a proper leading contender for the national. I mean, flying home to be fourth, what kind of a thrill did it give you? Obviously, everyone watching the Grand National. So just give us an idea of what it was like winging over those fences and flying home for fourth. Yeah,
it was great. He had a great run. We were very hopeful of a very good run, but obviously he was a 7-year-old and hadn't had too many runs over fences, but it just gave us a lot of confidence and a lot of hope for this year. So it's amazing how fast a year comes around, but we're back here again.
And obviously excitement, nervousness, obviously a little bit maybe of extra pressure on him this year.
No, not in my eyes, to be honest. You have to be more confident going in this year because he's been there and done it, and he's probably helped his profile, I'd say, in the runs he's had this year, barring the last one. So for me it's hard to pick any holes in him, and he's very solid going in.
One member of our team for Aintree here at Betfred is Katie Walsh. She finished third aboard her father's Seabass back in 2012. At that time, she was the female jockey who'd achieved the highest placing in a Grand National before Rachel Blackmore won it on Manila Times in 2021. Let's hear from Katie then on that spin on Seabass back in 2012 and what she fancies for the Grand National in 2026.
Well, I'd like to say Katie Walsh is joining us now, who had an unbelievable spin on Seabass, finishing third back in 2012. It was the highest place a female rider had ever finished until Rachel Blackmore came across in 2021 to win it on Manila Times. I mean, just cast your mind back, Katie. Did you ever envision, I mean, at one point, did you ever think, I might even win this race?
I thought crossing the Melling Road, I thought this might happen. And that was probably the only place I really thought it was going to happen. I didn't really think it before that. I was more concentrating and trying to get over all the fences and trying to get where I was going to be. But yeah, Matt, it was an unbelievable time in my life. Even the whole run up to the national, everything that went with it. You know, I won a Leopardstown Chase on him at Christmas time over 2 miles, two and a half miles. Sorry, he had won over 2 miles. I won on him in Limerick as well over fences. He was a super jumper. He was an absolutely gorgeous horse to do anything with. And yeah, definitely crossing the Melling Road was the first time I actually thought that this might happen. But the whole experience in that year, and it wasn't just those couple of days, it was the run up to Aintree. It was just such a special time, and a time that I will never forget, even though it's a long time ago now, Matt.
We can still remember that. We dig deep into the memory back. And interesting you say, is that how you approach the race? Taking it a fence at a time, you're concentrating on getting over the fences and then just seeing where you were at. To the Melling Road.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, it's all about getting into that rhythm, you know, and the one thing I was warned was to make sure you get into a rhythm. Try and get yourself into a nice position as soon as you jump off, and then, you know, to get out over the first was the main thing, and then get out over the second, and then bit by bit. There's no point in thinking what you're going to do when you get to the Canal Turn or Beechers when you've got an awful lot of fences to jump before that, you know what I mean? So you can see, you know, so many horses go down to the first to maybe hit the jockey up the backside and they fall off and it's all over so quickly, you know. So for me, it was just all about trying to get over the first, get over the second, and then just fence by fence, bit by bit, and then kind of pluck away at it. But the first time that actually crossed my mind that this actually might happen was when I was facing back up towards home. And across the Melling Road, I thought, I knew I still had a lot of horse under me, and it was just whether he was going to see it out the trip. But yeah, it was unbelievable.
And even today, I mean, people talk about rhythm. Just how important is that, especially the Grand National? Because you say you get your horse in rhythm, he doesn't exert, or they don't exert themselves as much, because, you know, extended 4 1/4 mile and a half is a long, long way to go. So how imperative is it that they jump from fence to fence and they don't make those mistakes and they are on a stride?
Yeah, and listen, also to be able to handle everything that the National comes with, you know, the parading beforehand, the parade outside, the atmosphere, like that is just a big ball of nerves, you know what I mean? And everybody feels it. There's something different, it's something special. So, you know, a lot of horses will have ran their race by the time they get down as far as the start because they just can't handle the preliminaries of it. So it's very important then, if your horse is taking all this well, that you kind of say, well, I've crossed that bridge anyway and I'm at the start, and now it's about trying to get yourself into a nice position or where you wanted to be or what your plan was. You know, I think the race has definitely changed. People want to be handy. You look back over the years, they were stretched across the track. Now everyone wants to go down the inner and wants to be handy, and that seems like it's the place to be. You know, so there's an awful lot of fighting for that position as well. And when you're fighting for a position, you know, they create speed. So there's a lot of speed as well. So now you've got a very fast race. The first mile of the race is very fast. The first couple of furlongs is really fast until you kind of get down to Beechers and get round that section. It seems like everyone holds their breath until they get back around the Canal Turn. And then it's like, whew, and then they start to really hunt away and find their position and make sure the horse is breathing properly and jumping nicely without jumping too big and too exuberant, using up too much energy, because it has turned into a real test of stamina as well. And then, you know, you get up past the stands and the roar comes again. You know, you can see horses come alive again, get back on the bridle again, because they're feeding off the atmosphere of the stands. And then you face away again and it all becomes silent. You can hear nothing. It's funny, when you're out in the country, you can't really hear it, and you'll be chatting away to the person beside you, whoever it may be, and saying, how are you traveling? How are you getting on? And, you know, and that's when you're away the country, it really feels like you are away from everything. It's only you can feel it when you're making your way back up towards the stand. So it really is, it's a remarkable race.
It's really interesting you say that, because as a horse, you
you were talking about what kind of horse you need. You need to have everything. The adrenaline's going to be pumping. You're going past the stands, you say the roars, that'll get your blood pumping. And then you see it's so quiet out in there, and then the horse comes back into view, the roar again. They need to go again. They need to show so much heart and so much stamina. You kind of do need a great lot of everything as well as ability to win a Grand National.
Massively. So it's not just about having the right weight on your back, and it's not just about qualifying for it. There's so many hurdles that need to be jumped before you even jump off. You know what I mean? Then you need to be in the right position. You need to be lucky enough to avoid a carnage, a horse coming down and maybe bringing you down. You need so much luck in a national, and I think that's what makes it so special, because you just don't know what's going to happen. And like, that's why it's such a special race to ride it as well. And everyone feels very privileged and very lucky to ride it. And that's really is the vibe that's in the weigh room before you go out. It's excitement. It's not pressure. I don't think anyone is under pressure going out in the national. I certainly wasn't when I rode Seabass and I was favourite. I was putting enough pressure on myself anyway. But I don't think anyone feels pressure. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't disappoint myself, that I didn't fall off at the first or do something silly or do something stupid. And that's the vibe that's in. It's a different vibe compared to the guys going out to ride in the champion hurdle or going out and go, that's pressure. The national, and there is only one national, and I've said it before, is totally different. You just feel extremely lucky to ride in it and very privileged, and you need so much luck. Anything can happen, so you need to enjoy it, and that kind of is the vibe when you go out there. That's what makes it so special.
It certainly is special, and we've had 178th running this year. You said you never know what happened. You do need luck. Well, now I need to ask you what you do think will happen in this year's renewal. Who do you think is best placed to be adding their name to that illustrious roll of honour?
Well, I'm a big fan of I Am Maximus. I think the race has changed, as I've spoken about over the last couple of years. I think he can come back and do it again. He's got top weight. I think Paul Townend will ride him. I'd be surprised if he doesn't. He's a class horse. I think you need a class horse. I think you need a graded horse. He is that. He has done that. I also quite like Oscar's brother. But it's a national, and there's just so many things that can happen. But for me, I'd be going for a good, safe, solid jumper anyway, and hoping for a bit of luck after that.
No, well, best of luck. I Am Maximus, I'm sure, will be many people's pick. Has been there and done it. Oscar's brother as well. I mean, JP McManus, strong hand. He looks to become the winning most owner in the Grand National. Right, thanks to Katie. Still plenty more to come on this Punter's Guide. Now let's hear from our very own Joe Ross. Remember what he said in 2023? Corach Rambler cannot win the Grand National. Yeah, he got that one wrong, didn't he? But to be fair, he did mention Noble Yates at 50-1 a few years ago as well. What does he fancy for this year's Grand National? Right, your quickfire guide with Joe Ross. The 2026 Grand National starts here. I Am Maximus.
Place.
Nick Rocket.
Not a chance.
Banbridge.
Nope.
Grange Clare West.
Oh, potential winner.
Jerry Colombe.
First six.
Haiti Killer.
Absolutely no chance at all.
Splans Tower.
Won't run.
Firefox.
Too high in the handicap.
Monty Star.
I think this wins.
Spanish Harlem.
Pulled up, unseated, pulled up, not a chance.
Lecky Watson.
Poor season, not a chance.
Champ Kiley.
Massive price, enhanced place terms.
Iroko.
Fourth last year, won't do any better this year.
Favre de Champdou.
Nope.
3-card Bragg.
11th this last year, not a chance.
Oscar's brother.
Needs to jump better, maybe next year.
Mr. Vango.
Love soft ground, won't be getting that this year.
High Class Hero.
Pulled up last two starts, stamina unproven.
Stella Story.
Yeah, I like this. Place.
Beauport.
Starts now, won't finish.
Captain Cody.
If Harry Cobden was riding, it would be a place, but no.
Jaguar.
Nope, nope, nope. Don't be taking a short price about this horse.
Percival Agalwar.
Fell in this last year, probably do the same.
Gorgeous Tom.
Stays on strongly, stays on really strongly. Place.
The Real Whacker.
Poor season, not a hope.
Quite a Bourbon.
Not a hope.
Answer to Cafe.
Want soft ground, too high in the handicap.
Jordans.
Second on Ladies' Day last year. Done nothing to note since. Nope.
Final Orders.
Not good enough.
Marble Sands.
Not good enough.
Panic Attack.
Only mare in the race. Brilliant start to the season. One race too many.
Top of the bill.
Half decent British handicap form. Just day out for the owners.
Johnny Who.
Winner of the Ultima. Not a hope in hell.
Twig.
I'll just be honest with you. One beat you by a short head, beating Mr. Vanguard in December at Aintree. 10th in this last year. Will do really well to beat that this year. Not a hope.
Okay. You 1, 2, 3, 4, please, Joel.
1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4, Champ Kylie. Massive price. 3, Stellar Story. 2, Grange Clare West. And number 1, Monty Star.
There you go. There you have it. The run through the card for the 178th running of the Grand National.
Massive thanks to Josh, Jonjo Jr, Katie Walsh and Joe Ross for joining us in this special Grand National edition of the Punters Guide. Best luck wherever you're backing in the Grand National, and let's hope all 34 runners and riders come back safe and sound.